weeks ago, we saw the world's largest CSGO matchmaking event unfold, and the finals took place, and it was looked like a very fun and engaging couple of matches that went on. And I've actually got a very special guest on the show. I'm joined with ex-CSGO player and the one and only Pimp on the show. How are you? You good?
I'm great.
Good stuff. Thank you so much for joining us, Pimp. It's wicked to have you. I mean, this looked like such a really cool event. I mean, I was actually unaware of it before, and I was kind of having a look into it. And, you know, a $1 million prize pool, that's pretty big. It's pretty big money. Can you tell us a little bit about the event for us?
Yeah, it's as you said, it's a pretty big deal. I think it's one of the first times in the CSGO community that we've been able to gather so many non-professional players. We've been able to gather the community and all of us, I guess, you know, trying to chase the same goal, which of course was the $1 million prize pool, but also the goal of engaging the community and getting everyone that taste of how it's like, you know, playing Counter-Strike or playing esports for that matter on a competitive scale. So it felt like a lot of those guys, you know, who are just playing off work, off school, etc., they got a taste for what it's like being a pro, and I think that was a great attribute to the whole event.
Absolutely, and in the name as well, Community Clash. I mean, it is a community. It is bringing these incredibly ambitious people together who love the game so much, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So, what got you involved with WhiteBIT Community Clash? How did you get involved with the event?
Well, I've been playing FACEIT. I've been partnering with FACEIT, who organized the entire thing for many years. I basically grew up with FACEIT as it came out, so it's always been a part of my life, a part of my gaming experience. A company that, when it comes to CSGO specifically, have done a lot for the scene, a lot for the community. So they hold a very high place in my heart, at least when it comes to their involvement in Counter-Strike. So it was a no-brainer for me to be part of it. I absolutely love the event. I love what they stand for. I love what they're trying to achieve with the product as well. So to take part of the community class was very easy.
Oh, absolutely. It's great. I mean, I bet everyone was stoked to see your name on there, but they were like, oh my goodness, that's so exciting. So, you know, but a lot of people were like clamping at the bit to be part of your clan. I mean, how was it building your own clan, Pimp, for this?
It's not easy, you know. It takes quite an effort to convince people to take part in something they quite don't know what is yet, right? It's a lot about, you know, the storytelling, a lot about how do you tell people that this is a cool thing to be part of, and you have to convince them somehow. You have to show them. So I did it through my live streaming service. I'm a full-time streamer on Twitch, so I was trying to encourage all my Twitch viewers to take part, and I guess it's running word by word, you know, mouth by mouth. So if one guy had a great experience, he would tell his friends, and they would come in, etc., etc. So it was all about trying to build this community feeling, sort of like a family feeling, where you are achieving the same goal, or at least conquering the same goal, trying to, and it felt like it was in the beginning relatively hard to get people to buy into it, but as soon as I have more and more people having great experience that then could tell those experiences to some of their friends, it kind of did a job by itself. So in the beginning, quite tough, but now I feel like it's a great community that is more or less flourishing by itself.
Absolutely. And were you quite impressed with some of the kind of people that came through and were playing? Were you like, wow, these guys are very good?
There was a lot of, we like to call them tryharders in Counter-Strike. There's a lot of the good guys, you know, a lot of the guys who put in an awful lot of effort to be good at the game. Yeah. Myself, I used to play professional 6-7 years ago, so I kind of lost that touch, you know. I'm still somewhat decent, but not on the level I used to be. And I would admit, you know, some of the guys that I went up against and some of the guys who went very far in the community class, they were very solid, you know, semi-pro players, or at least young players with a great future ahead of them. So it was nice to see that whole, you know, community feeling going from being just about the regular guy to then slowly but surely ramp up to some of the new talents and some of the guys who may or may not have a future within Counter-Strike.
That's it. It's kind of like practice makes perfect, right? I mean, when you have to be constantly at the game, don't you, to keep getting better and better. And I mean, these the next use Pimp, so they're going to come through and hopefully follow in your footsteps, which is quite exciting. That's nice.
I mean, hopefully. I mean, there's a lot of players. There's a lot of people who devour their life to playing computer games, and a lot of people who devour their lives to play a lot of Counter-Strike. It's in some sense, you know, addicting. I had that, you know, addiction myself. Went to school, got back, and I would just game until I went to bed, and I would do the same next day. So it's a great community to be part of, and I think it's very important for the players that have any ambitions of going professional at some point in their life, that they maintain the fun aspect of it. And I think that's where the community class came in, and it reminded them that sure, you can be a grinder, you can put in a lot of hours, you can train hard and practice a lot, but you got to remember to have fun a little bit once in a while, and I think the community class helped with that.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It is a community sport. At the end of the day, esports, isn't it? It's about collaborating and coming up together, which is lovely. I mean, KRL as well, they took the top spot. Did they play well throughout the tournament? Were they kind of the sure winners, or did they kind of come through at the end?
Yeah, they're a bunch of sweaty nerds, to be completely honest. They were very, very good, very,
Love
very good
that.
at the game. I had a couple of games against them, and my team came nowhere near close to beat those guys. So they took it super, super seriously, and they
Yeah.
managed to engage part of the French community, which also is a great country when it comes to history of Counter Strike. They have a lot of great players down the history line, and have had some of the best teams in the world throughout the years. So the fact that he was able to re-engage, that French community was great to see, and without a doubt, they were the better team hanging around.
Or were there any of the teams that were playing quite well as well? Were there any of the teams that you were quite impressed by as well that you came up against?
Yeah, I mean the final opponents obviously did a great job. The WhiteBIT clan was also a good clan. There was a lot of members in that one. I think that was the community clan with the most played games.
Oh, wow.
Some of the players were good, some of the players were average, but again it was good to see that he was able to I guess gather a different audience than mine. I'm very focused on Scandinavia, Denmark of course, being from Denmark myself, but in general, the west side of Europe I tried to engage, and he was really doing a great job trying to bring in people from all over the world basically, and had a great turnout of players throughout the couple of weeks.
That's incredible. It's incredible to bring these players all over the world into this one space as well. I think that's what makes it so exciting. And I think what makes this event so exciting as well, the prize pool was obviously cryptocurrency as well, which is quite interesting. Do you think this is how, a lot of events going forward might be in more sort of cryptocurrency to win?
Yeah, I guess it's always hard to speculate in that regard, but I guess it's becoming more and more, integrated in our lives. I think more and more
Absolutely.
people are aware of what crypto is these days. Had you asked people 10 years ago, most people wouldn't really know what it was all about, right? So
No.
it's about learning and getting exposed to it, I guess. So I wouldn't be able to tell you whether or not it's going to be an integrated part of prize pools for the future, but I wouldn't be surprised if our experience with crypto and if our understanding of what crypto is all about will get significantly better in the next couple of years.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It is getting integrated into our lives. I mean, I've had to sit down and really read into it to understand it sometimes, the little ins and outs of it, but it is becoming such a big thing. But you did mention as well, Pimp, of course, about your Twitch channel, which is great as well. I mean, as streaming is such a great way to connect with the community as well. And obviously this event was all about connecting with the community. So is streaming a big part of you connecting with the people that kind of have followed you for a while?
Yeah, it's my way of I feel like giving back sometimes to the community. I have a lot of guys who followed me throughout my professional career, and then when I ended, I had to figure out what do I want to do now with my life, right? And that was a great way of connecting with people. The thing is, when you stream, you're very close to the viewer. You have a chat that is going
Yes.
on all the time. I spent an awful lot of time, requesting or answering questions from said chat, and if you kind of make I guess the comparison to football players or some of the bigger sporting stars we have out there, the way to talk to Messi or Ronaldo is very, very long, right? You're very lucky if you get to spot them at some stadium, whereas it feels like esports players in general, there's not a long way, for the average Joe to actually talk to the guy himself. Turn up at events, we do autograph sessions, turn up in a Twitch chat, and you can ask any given question, and if it's a good question or if it's something that catches my attention or someone else's attention, we will directly address it, right? Whereas it feels like you're a little bit more distant when it comes to regular sports. So I think growing up, this is going to be a new culture, and I would argue some of the upcoming football players as well. I know a couple of the guys from the Danish national football team. They also stream, they also play Counter-Strike, they play computer games, and they're kind of like, they like that vibe of not being too distant from their fans. So I think it's something we're going to see more of in the future.
Absolutely, and like you said, it is that direct connection. With this Twitch, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, if you think about years ago, we didn't have this, and now we do, and it's a way to connect. And yeah, I mean, it's been great. I've been reading up a couple of the World Cup players. I've been, having some downtime with. I think Jordan Pickford from the England team had a PC shipped over to Qatar in order to play.
Yeah.
So, it's great to see these kind of things. So it's exciting. I mean, what's next for you, Pimp? What's coming up in the next kind of year for you?
I got a holiday now, a well-earned
Yay.
holiday, I would argue. I've been on the road for almost 200 days this year, so I
Oh my
more or less live a
goodness.
life in a suitcase, doing events, traveling, and doing broadcast work. I work as broadcast talent outside of my streaming duties. So I think taking a couple of days off and just chilling at home, celebrating Christmas, and then next year probably more the same. I'll be streaming a lot on my Twitch channel. I'll be creating content on Twitter, TikTok, you name it, and then of course I also have my second occupation, which is working on broadcast television in terms of being a commentator or an analyst. So I think next year is going to look very much like this year, but hopefully with a bit more quality to my work and hopefully growing in all the metrics that I can grow in.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so good. It's great to see you as well, branching out into other areas. I mean, it's just going to fly even further for you, which I think is really exciting. So if someone was new to join your stream though, Pimp, what kind of games can we expect to see on your Twitch channel?
It's mainly Counter-Strike at the moment. I've been
Yeah.
a diehard Counter-Strike player the past 10 years, and I've had a bit of a rough time, transitioning that into other games. I do have a New Year's resolution though. I would love to learn other games, the Call of Duties of the world, the Fortnites, and whatever else they call Valorant for that matter as well. It's very much similar to Counter-Strike. So I think next year will be the year where I try to branch out a little bit. But yeah, Counter-Strike mainly on the stream. I do some swifting as well, which is virtual bike races. I have a bike behind me and a home trainer.
Fantastic.
So sometimes I do Swift races, against some of the semi-pro cyclists out there as well. So that's something you can expect on Twitch as well.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Have you ever thought about doing any other first-person shooters like Overwatch or Valorant or anything like that?
Yeah, as I said, I've thought about transitioning into it, or at least getting to learn it. But it's for a guy who's played Counter-Strike for 12 years straight. It's very hard to move away from the basics. But I probably should give it a go over the Christmas period.
Oh, absolutely. It's the time, you know what I mean? It's the time to get stuck into it and try something new, isn't it? Which I think would be nice. Oh, so what are your plans for over the Christmas period? Are you just having some time off, just going to relax?
I'm just gonna relax, spend the time with family, friends. I have a couple of friends who don't live in Denmark anymore coming home as well. So as much time with them as possible, and then recharging. As I said, I've had 200 days abroad this year,
Oh my
almost.
goodness, yeah,
So to be able to spend some time at home and just recharge the batteries is probably priority number one.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us, Pimp. Honestly, it's been wicked to have you. And congratulations on being part of such a great event as well. And yeah, go watch your streams, because I'm gonna jump on another one. Thank you so much.
Sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.